in the Olympics, some athletes said negative things about the United States. President Trump didn't like that at the halftime show in the Super Bowl. Bad Bunny was loved by every Democrat, at least every Democrat on TV and social media. Here's a New York Times. Americans at the Olympics can't escape the politics at home. The 232 Americans competing at the Winter Games have trained for years, traveled thousands of miles, and are ready to give their best on the ice and snow in northern Italy. But politics, perhaps inevitably, is intruding on their Olympic moment. A lot of controversy over the vice president and whether he was booed or not. Some conservatives claim he wasn't. I'm not sure how they're making that claim. In any event, because it's right there on the audio, in any event, the Bad Bunny performance celebrated by the left, celebrated as just a great watershed moment for multiculturalism. You can see, as you're watching here, some of the performance. You got it. Technically, it was brilliant. I don't know. Forget all the criticism. Now, the president hated it, and of course, there was an alternative show. Here's the president's social media post, said it was, ridiculous and horrible. And of course, for at least the third time, he attacked the NFL new kickoff rule, which is my favorite obsession of the president's. But people on the right were divided. Here's the Paul brothers are divided. Jake and his brother don't agree. Jake Paul said, purposely turning off the halftime show. And Logan Paul said, I love my brother, but I don't agree with this. Puerto Ricans are Americans, and I'm happy they were given the opportunity to showcase the talent that comes from the island. Here's someone else who doesn't think the right should be running down the performance. This is Alexis Wilkins, 109. She's an influencer, I think. She also happens to be Kash Patel's girlfriend, but she's an influencer in her own right. I think that's what she's. Hogan, right? She's a friend of yours.
Yeah.
Is that what she is? She's an influencer?
Yeah, sure.
She's a
okay.
Singer.
She's a very popular
singer. That's what she is.
Singer.
I knew she had a whole other career. Alexis Wilkins is a singer, and here's what she says in response to the DNC's extraordinarily lush photo of Mr. Bunny, and she says, "Unpopular: Republicans need to unite and get on better messaging because this branding is fantastic." She's talking about the Democratic branding and allows all Dems to get behind it. Also, super aesthetic. Couldn't agree with Alexis Wilkins more. Democrats are united. The branding is fantastic, and the aesthetic was incredible. I mean, again, I don't know who the actual producer of that thing was, but that was a triumph of live programming. Really, just incredible. So, Hogan, you first, because your party's divided. Going forward, should your party be running down Bad Bunny, the most popular artist in the world, or celebrating him and not caring that the halftime show happened to be in Spanish, a language spoken by many people in North America, Latin America?
Yeah, I don't know. It seems a little.
Would you agree with your friend Alexis or not?
In part, I think it was a bad choice for the halftime show. Do you remember the one, the Super Bowl in Detroit? Not too long ago, I'm thinking to myself, what a great opportunity to have like Motown or Eminem or, someone there that has Motown. You could talk about Michigan, whatever. And they went with like The Who or some like four. I don't understand for the life of me. And while the NFL wants to have like a more global brand, I get it. But at the same time, Puerto Rico, obviously part of the United States. I don't like that the whole thing was in Spanish. Call me what you want to call me.
I want to hear from Jaime so badly, but I need to ask you a follow. Why does it matter? Why are people so offended that it's in Spanish? It's a halftime show. It's not a government document.
No.
You might go see the Mikado, and that'd be in Japanese. Why are people? Why? I'm being serious. Why are people bothered by that?
Yeah. Well, I think because football is an American sport. English is our language officially. You have to learn English to become an American citizen. So it makes a little sense that it would be in English, and you'd want more people to enjoy that. Considering it's a homegrown sport, you want a homegrown.
But Hogan, do you know that the most popular artist in the world now sings regularly in Spanish, and people seem to be able to enjoy that?
Yeah, you're making two different arguments. I understand it's globally significant. I understand global artists speak in other languages. I'm saying this is an American sport. It's halftime at the American Super Bowl. Theoretically, you'd want someone, and quite frankly, you want to understand it. I'd love to hear what the lyrics are. I'd love to understand what he's trying to say.
All right, I won't speak for Hogan, but I'll speak for the president. They're trying to turn this into a Fox News, like they're canceling Christmas, like this is some cultural outrage. I'm wondering how big an opportunity you think this is for Democrats to take advantage of the attitude of Hogan and his friend the president.
Uh, Hey Mark and Hogan, good to see you guys. I'm not sure where we even arguing at this point and what we're debating, honestly. I'm a little biased. I thought it was a fantastic show. I've been a fan of Bad Bunny's since 2021, 2020. And I'm a huge fan of Puerto Rico. I go there every year. So those are my disclaimers. However, I can understand where Hogan's coming from and some other people. I was talking to some friends yesterday. I'm saying my dad was probably upset it was all in Spanish because he doesn't speak Spanish. But that's not the point. The point is Bad Bunny is the biggest artist right now. Reggaeton is the largest growing music genre right now. And to your point, Hogan, the NFL is trying to expand internationally. And
Yeah.
Spanish language, aside from America, Spanish language is still widely spoken across the world. And so I understand what you're saying about America, NFL being a homegrown franchise in the Super Bowl, but this was a cultural moment, and Bad Bunny brought the heat. And not only did he bring the heat, he was so lovely and he was so kind. The words that he said in Spanish and English were some of the most important words. God bless America. And so I welcome Bad Bunny. I welcome Puerto Ricans. I want to make sure that as we're expanding sort of the American cultural footprint, we bring the Puerto Ricans into this culture even more. And if you haven't been to Puerto Rico, you should go, and you should be proud that Puerto Rico is an American territory.
You
Okay,
know,
but hold on. I just want to make. I want to, Jaime. I loved everything you said, but I want you to answer my question. Is this a blunder, just in pure politics? Is this a blunder by the Republicans that will have resonance for Hispanic voters in the United States? Will
Yeah,
help your
I
party?
mean, I think so. I mean, think about this, Mark. This is the same party that spent the last 5 years talking about the inroads that they made with the Hispanic community. And
Yeah,
then they've spent the last 2 weeks, 2 months lambashing the largest Latina artist maybe of all time. And so
yeah.
at some point, it's going to be, some incongruent messaging from the Republican side because you can't say that you want to expand your electorate and bring sort of those Spanish-speaking voters into the fold when you don't celebrate an artist that they've loved and that they really respect. And so at some point, it does become a political liability for the Republicans, and probably really
Hogan.
soon.
Hogan.
it, but it's two different things because yeah, we've made inroads into the Latino community in large part because we were protecting against illegal aliens coming into this country, jumping in front of those who are doing it the right way, paid the money, have assimilated it into this country. So those two cultural differences notwithstanding, I guess it's almost like it's a job at this point. The halftime show is one that kind of no one wants. It's like responding to the State of the Union from the opposite party. It's like you're kind of destined to fail because half of the country's going to hate it regardless. So I don't really know that it matters that much because you're not watching the Super Bowl for the halftime show anyway. But from a larger geopolitical argument, I get what you're saying, Jaime, for sure. I just whatever, man. Look, he did the whole thing in Spanish. We'll let the people decide whether they want to watch it or not. I know a lot of people flipped over to the TPUSA counter programming show as well. So I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
I just think it's always much ado about
I
nothing.
try not to overreact, and if Bruce Springsteen were dispositive, John Kerry would be president. But I cannot believe the level of attacks, and I just think they're counterproductive. Just don't watch it. But the other thing I'll say is, um, Bad Bunny is a genius because there's so much political stuff in there, so many dog whistles in there, like the little 5-year-old boy standing in for Liam and calling saying God bless America, but meaning all of the Americas, not just the United States. It was genius dog whistling, but done in a subtle way where people couldn't say. I haven't heard anybody say, even the president didn't say he's politicized the thing. He just
Yeah.
said didn't like it in Spanish. Genius, guy's a
I, I,
genius.
I spent like 5 years trying to get Bad Bunny to come campaign for Democratic candidates, and he
Yeah,
wouldn't do it. And even when Joe Biden was the president. So I think Bad Bunny does not want this to be politicized. I think
yeah,
what Bad Bunny would like to see is for Puerto Ricans, other folk who are from the Latin diaspora, be treated like either first class citizens, Americans, or
yeah,
give some sort of respect. I don't think it's about Democrat and Republican politics. So I think that's the thing, Mark, why I didn't answer your question
yeah,
early on. Is
yeah.
Bad Bunny's not like, oh, I'm going to
Well,
campaign for the DNC.
he did endorse Kamala Harris in reaction to a comedian's joke about Puerto Rico.
Yeah, yeah, but that was irrespective to him endorsing the DNC or Democrats. I think he
Yeah,
felt very strongly about that moment,
yeah,
and
about
so
it.
I don't think he's like trying to divide the country at all. in political fault.
He felt strongly about a joke. All right.
They say that something that's easy is like a walk in the park. Well, easier than a walk in the park, hit the subscribe button, be part of the two-way community, never miss an episode, be part of our conversations. Thank you for your service to America.
And don't forget, you can now listen to the morning meeting and Two Way Tonight on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.